Ever wondered why AAA games, especially FPS games, are getting worse in their creative flair and risk taking, favouring more for monetization and more of a corporate stance? This Mass Effect writer gives insight into what is happening across the board with gaming. He describes how this was his dream job and had a great time making some of the earlier Mass Effect titles and Dragon Age games, but then said in a recent article with PC Gamer, "We became more corporate. We were less able to make what we loved, and the teams were pushed to create games based on market research rather than our creative instincts and passions. My dream job became just a job, and I lost the enthusiasm and excitement I once had." This explains why games like Battlefield 5 failed. They decided to take a modern look at World War II, favouring less effort in the look and feel of World War II in effort to appeal to a more diverse audience. Not caring that the uniforms looked out of place and wrong, because that's where they saw they could monetize the game by adding characters like this guy. It didn't seem like a passion project, but more like what he mentions, more corporate. In EA's eyes and many other publishers, realism doesn't sell. Authenticity is boring in their eyes. They might be right. Look at games like Fortnite, who add a wide range of skins. It's way more appealing to the consumer. Even if it's not what the developers want, it makes more money. It's just a fact. Their market research may have found that 69% of Fortnite players spend money on the game and on average spend $85. That style of cosmetic was colourful and bright and less realistic. That must be more appealing to the mass market gamer. And many business executives would conclude from research like this that players want that. We see this now with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Chapter 2 takes a bigger step in moving away from authentic gear and uniforms, something that was pushed more than it had in a long time. However, Activision, like other publishers, know they can make more money from making colourful uniforms and camos that appeal to a younger group, as that's who buy the cosmetics for the most part. Remember when the leaks found that Activision wanted to implement loot boxes? It's an over $100 billion industry, but with legislation happening with governments all across the world, because they are becoming more interested in this medium. So again, this decision to remove it last minute wasn't for the player, but a corporate business decision. There is not many publishers who stick to a strong vision. The only publishers or mainstream publishers I can think of are CD Projekt Red and Rockstar to some extent. But even Rockstar know they have to go more bizarre, more insane to generate ridiculous amounts of revenue, even if that means destroying the integrity of that game. That's why I choose to play indie titles over AAA games, because the indie games are made with love and passion. Everything that they think is cool and awesome and will improve the game is added to the game, whether that loses them revenue or not. They make content for the players and not make content for the pursuit of more players. The current player base is always in mind first. The reason why Battlefield 5 didn't see a complete revert to its original TTK is because executives higher up made the decision to do this to make it easier for new players, so they stuck with the new TTK. Because who gives a fuck about the current player base, especially if they're not going to be buying boins? This is why I urge people to support more indie games like Insurgency Sandstorm, Hell Let Loose, Postscriptum, Squad, to name a couple. They deserve your money and time, not these big budget games that lack any soul behind them. They're lifeless, no creative spark, just experiences that they think will sell in mass, bloated by live services that suck you dry. If the game needs fixing, will they fix it? If it's not losing them any money, they're not going to bother. AAA games are now pushed out the door to release when they have announced them, for as they have investors to speak to. Games like Anthem, was it ready? Was it fuck? Did it matter? No, because that game needed to be released when it was announced. The story was bland and uninspiring. Did that matter? No. That ability to give developers more time to inject their passion and vision has gone now. And it's very sad to see. In conclusion, support indie games and dev teams more, because these guys actually care about creating awesome games that gamers enjoy. It's not that the AAA devs don't care, they really do, but the higher-ups always have the final say on what direction the game goes to further profit. If you are new, drop a like and subscribe, and until next time, have a good one.